Coming to you live, Clearwater, Florida. It's not Monday, but hey, it's Car Stereo Talks with your guest, with your host. One of these days we'll get this right. Dean and Fernando.
I thought you were going to say Drew Garabo live.
They don't know who that is.
No.
No clue. Good day, everyone, and welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, I understand. Sorry, we had a thing we had to do yesterday with Kicker. Just a training when we were attendees.
So why?
What's that? That's
Maybe
because
you
of the
can't.
truck. Because the light is shining off.
No,
the
I say
truck.
so why.
Oh, I mean, I can make it narrower.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like that, that do it for you?
Yes. I want to be closer to them.
Okay. Sure, man.
I know.
Well, hey guys, and welcome to the show. I hope everyone is having an okay week so far. It is Tuesday, so there is
Happy
that.
Monday, guys.
Yeah, and we're doing this on a beautiful Tuesday.
And a beautiful Tuesday.
I mentioned it's Tuesday, but first, Frank was first.
What's up?
Good afternoon, Dean and Fernando. I hope your day was going good. Waiting to hear the show, watching the show, either way. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Today was good.
It's good, yeah.
I love the show. I'm glad you do. Hello, cardio freak lovers.
What's up?
We'll come back to this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna star it. We'll come back to
I
that
have
for
it.
sure. Good afternoon. Almost forgot to tune in. It happens, you know. It's the wrong day. Good afternoon. Looking forward to it. Hey, hope you learned something that you can share from the kicker training yesterday. We did. I learned one thing, two things about one thing. And I'm not going to tell you tonight because it's part of a video that we'll be filming tomorrow for you guys to watch. It's a helpful tip or trick. So we're pretty excited. I'm pretty excited about that because I always like when I can add in more things to one particular video to make it more entertaining, more informative. So definitely tune in. Well, of course you will. But yeah. From Kicker yesterday. Yeah, got that. I don't know why I read that. Howdy.
Yeah.
Good evening from
Good
Athens.
Oh, wow.
Good evening, Brad.
Good evening, Brad.
Nope, can't talk about it. Okay. Oh, although I will say, hey, if you're waiting for the new 6 to 8,
Yeah.
they're in stock.
So you can't wait anymore.
You don't have to wait. You
Just
can
call
order
them.
Yeah. So if you have
Call them.
if you have one of the new 6 to 8 DSPs waiting anxiously because it's such a good deal.
Please contact
they will-
arcadio.com.
They will be working out of the warehouse soon because they showed up today. So that's pretty cool. So I'm sure they have some stuff they need to do. Then they'll go out to everyone. So it's at least they're in the bar. So
Ready to
still
ship.
at work. I'll catch the replay. Have a great weekend, everyone. Well, thank you. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Bobby, what's going
What's
on?
up?
Hey, how are you? Go ahead and get your questions in. Hey, what's up, Mary
Mary
Lou?
Lou.
And we will definitely get to those.
Yes.
Would you recommend Ryan cardio for what? I guess would be the question. I mean, I have to know what you're trying to do with it. Evening, gents. Hi, everyone. All right, so we're gonna. You guys have some good questions already in there, so that's great. Keep them coming. We will definitely get to those here in a second. But before we do that,
Yes.
we do this little thing called the 12 Volt Clean Wire Club. Some of you have heard of it. And every week, Fernando scours the page and finds what he likes. One of the
That's
many.
just pretty much it.
Yeah. It's basically what it comes down to. So this week, we have a little JL thingy here. Oh, with all the little clips. This thing is just going to clip into place. That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's an amplifier on the bottom, an amplifier on the
I
top.
was going to say it looks like three amplifiers.
And a marine. I mean, it's all marine.
It's all
basically.
marine.
So,
Well,
yeah.
I mean,
Looks cool.
the black amps aren't marine, but
Huh?
yeah, the black amps aren't marine amps. Just the white amp.
They are now.
They are now. That is for sure. They are now.
So
Do we know who this is?
that's Dakota.
Very good. Good job, Dakota. Looks very
Yes.
serviceable. Very easy to get in and out. That's cool. Nice job. And this week's Clean Wire pick of the week is brought to you by D&F Tool Drawer, the place where you can go and find
Yes.
the IRTA2, the only
The only 2-channel
electrical
electrical
RTA.
RTA. Boom.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking
How
about.
awesome is that? It's not the only one. It's just
It
the
is the
most
only
affordable
one.
one. Yes, it works with both iPhone and Android. So
It's the only one.
it could be the only one. I mean, you know,
You
you
know
should
what?
have one. All right.
This is the place that you can find it. Right there. Boom.
Yeah, there you go. See, look at you. You're on point now. You got to do that. All right, let me do this. Let me come over here. We will start answering questions.
Are you ready?
Not really, but hey, we'll just start with this one. Pardon me, I'll drop that right there. This first segment is brought to you by the fine folks at focal-america.com, or just Focal as we like to call them. Do you need speakers for your car? Do you need some of the best speakers for your car? Do you like your car to sound like a nightclub? Just like, yeah, jamming, bro. Check them out. Check out the Focal inside if you're a DIY guy and like it to be simple to install.
Yeah.
It's a plug and play option that's totally available for you to make your life that much easier. Head over to focal.com, focal-america.com. Ooh.
Yeah. But before we start the show, what's today?
Tuesday. We covered that.
Today is Tuesday, but what day?
Tax day. Well,
Tax
technically,
day.
it's tax day for everyone except unless you live in Florida, because we got a stay of execution until May 1st because of all the hurricanes that came through last year. People are having a hard time getting all their paperwork together, which is not the reason why I am falling behind. It just kind of works out. Now, 30 years ago today, it was a Saturday, and I picked that day for two reasons. One, it was a Saturday, which means I didn't have to work Saturday because I always work Saturdays. And two, it was tax day, which means I won't forget it.
Happy anniversary, tax day.
Yeah, it's my wedding anniversary. So both good and bad things happened today, So there's that. But hey, pretty
fantastic,
fun.
Man. Hey, good job, bro. Good job.
Me.
And what you did, that was fantastic.
So, funny story. Sue asked me on Sunday, she goes, "You doing anything?" We really don't do Valentine's Day, anniversaries, stuff like that. I think about the only thing we do is Christmas and birthdays, but nothing Hallmarky kind of crap because it's just kind of stupid. It was something I started early on in the marriage, and she was on board because we were broke, and it was like, yeah, this is dumb. We ain't got the money for this crap. So, anyways, typically for anniversaries, we really don't do anything special for each other. So she asked me if she could do anything for me. I was like, wasn't planning on it. Because I literally just
I haven't.
Well, I mean, it's like we're going on a cruise in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
we're going on another cruise for vacation, so it's like those are kind of expensive. Yeah. So I really wasn't planning on doing anything. So she's like, I'm going to do something for you, which was kind of nice, and which was nice. There's nothing kind of about it. It was nice. So she got me an edible arrangements. However, she did it from the app, and the app crashed. So it's my account. And so it had my phone number. So when the app crashed, it showed she ordered 2. So they called me and said, hey, and I go, I didn't order anything. And she's like, oh, the lady on the phone was like, oh, crap, I think I just screwed this up. I said, you most definitely screwed it up. What did you screw up, though? Let's figure this out and make it work. She goes, well, the app shows that you accidentally ordered 2. And I said, okay, fair enough. So since I've ordered 2, why don't we have some fun with this? And she's like, okay. I said, so can I change the address on one of them? She's like, yeah, I don't see why not. I said, okay, well, send the one to me that you're supposed to do. No big deal. I said, let's send the other one to my wife. So she's like, oh, okay. I said, yeah, that'll be fun, right? She thinks she's all cool because she's sending me something, and then boom, one shows up.
Advantage of it.
So now it gets even better because the lady calls me back. She says, your wife just sent me an email that says, cancel the one order. What should I do? I said, lie to her and tell her you did. She said, what if she calls? I said, lie to her again. That's what I'm going to do. So go ahead and just lie. So the lady that was on the phone that thought this was hilarious because I was having such fun with it was also the person that delivered it to the house. And Sue, of course, had no idea what the heck was going on. And so she was like, why is, and she's like, it's, this is what happened. And she's like, oh, that's funny. And so anyways, long story short, it was a good laugh at my wallet's expense, but
hey,
Duel.
Happy anniversary.
Duel wins every time. Like, hands down, Duel kicks the crap out of that.
Why Duel?
Did you turn off the air?
No, I didn't. Do you? Because you.
No, I just closed the vent. And that was just over there. It's weird. Okay. Anyways, Duel wins. They have better products. They have more money. They're willing. They're both trying very hard. Like, both of them now have iData, so there's that. But yeah, it's. I still think Duel wins.
Yeah.
I just feel like they care more.
All right. So let's go back to
Yes, you're going back. It says, on a 22 Colorado with Bose, do I use kicker key for front doors and dash corners, planning on full active, or use DSP and Metra interface and regular amps for everything, trying to keep a tight budget? So here's the thing. The 2022 Colorado actually sounds really good. Like, the Bose up mixer in that thing is badass, and it has a center channel. I've heard it. I was impressed. You might be thinking, well, this guy's crazy because this thing sounds like crap, which is totally fine. However, to go back to answer the question you're asking is, no, you do not use a kicker key for this because the factory is already better than the key is going to do. Plus, it's an upmix system. You really have two choices here. One is, yes, go with the Metra DSP interface for it and just do straight power, use the DSP in the Metra piece, and it'll be louder. Or two, get a bigger DSP, go active, keep the upmixing, just re-EQ it a little bit. But that's going to be the more expensive of the two options because you'll need multiple amplifiers and big DSP type stuff. I mean, you could probably do a Blackbird and a Nighthawk, but yeah, it gets kind of way more expensive than just doing a Metra because you still need the Metra piece. So if this is me and those are my two options, I'm doing the Metra interface with straight power. I'm just going to use the DSP and the Metra piece. I think I'll have better results. Next. You can do it, man. You can do it. Hello. Can I use power from the cigarette lighter to power an amp if I turn the gain down and ohm load it to where it only draws about 100 watts? Don't want to go through the firewall to power it. So here's the thing. The answer to this is probably no, because your cigarette lighter is a small gauge wire in most modern cars. It only is like a 10 amp circuit. Sometimes you can, in the older cars, there are 25 amp circuits, which is still going to be more than 100 watts. So that's really what you have to look at. Now, if for some reason you have a 10 amp draw from your amplifier, then yeah, sure, why not? But no. I'm going to go with no. It's not enough to power an amplifier at all, ever. Unless you do Tony D'Amore's amplifiers, the new, those could work because that's what they're designed to do. But no, don't do this, ever. Good call. And I'm hoping you were kidding, Weber fan. But you can, like Tony D'Amore's new amplifiers, you could. And because the power wire is coming out, we're next to nothing. Good day. What's up, Brian? You totally could. Okay.
I'm excited. I'm excited for those amplifiers.
Is the best audio source still CD? Was the best audio source? Yeah, I know. Ever CD? I mean, there again.
What's a CD?
Exactly. So let's look at this from a history point of view, right? So every time the most current thing happens, that's the best audio source. So like back in the day, records were amazing. Like record was the best you could get. And then it would probably have been tape of some kind, like a reel to reel had better. And then we got tape, and then we got DATs, and then we got mini disc, and then we got CD. And every time we'd go through, and then we went to Napster and said, screw it. Sound quality and MP3s. And we just flushed it all down the toilet and said, nah, we don't care. We just want content. And that content led to the first iteration of like Pandora and Sirius XM, and it was just content to be had. Now we're a little farther down the road, and the pipes have gotten bigger so that we can actually get better streaming content. So I would fancy to say that the bit rate that the CD had, which you can now stream, is a good benchmark for what most people would consider quality source material. However, there are better source materials that are now available. So we're in that weird spot of time right now where we're trying to figure out where to go from here. So like there's a lot of newer music is recorded in Atmos, which is a capsulated thing. So we really have to figure out what that means because I don't know. I don't know what that's going to do.
It's just a label in the song.
Yeah, but it's not like telling us what it's doing, what it's recording at what bit rate and all those other fun things. I'm sure it's somewhere in some white paper somewhere that I could scour through the internet and get that data. I just don't want to right now. I don't think he cares. He's just doing it because Nalik is telling him to. But as far as CD goes, the form factor of the CD, no, it's trash. Throw it away. It's cumbersome. The usefulness is dead. However, the bit rate that it's recorded at, we can do that now with the phone. So sure, I guess the capabilities of the CD just coming from your phone would probably be the best source material right now. I don't know. I mean, things have changed so much. I wouldn't even know what to do with the CD. But the funny thing is like most people don't even care. Like how many people have little Amazon or the little dots, little speakers, little Bluetooth speakers in their house, and they just
Alexa.
They just play music from that crap, or an Apple speaker. It's like
or a little
JBL boombox. It's like or just their phone for God's sakes, or the smallest earbuds in the world that go in. I think quality is a tough one. I mean, obviously it's what we do for the car, and it's probably why most people, when they hear a system when we're done with it, they go,
so just a quick story.
Crap.
Like, the owner of this truck, he streams Pandora, and it's like, dude, this is gonna sound really good. And I say, what do you listen to? And he's like, I just listen to Pandora, and I say, oh, it's gonna sound horrible, but just get some Spotify, pay for the account, and you will get a better a better quality sound. And he's like, oh, I didn't even know.
I did say DAP.
Yeah.
I did say DAP. Yes, digital audio tape.
Yep.
And
192.
Believe it or not, it's still being used, I think, in some radios and stuff or some
Tidal.
Radio stations. Yeah, but Tidal was old. Now that Apple streams everything and Spotify does.
It's overrated?
I think Tidal is just kind of like sitting there in the corner. And let's be honest, Tidal's menuing sucks. Don, so the rumor was it's a rumor, but the facts is the JL social page will be changed to Garmin. JL Audio is not changing their name. It will still be JL Audio by Garmin, but the overall page is being taken over by Garmin. So that's what they were telling you when they said same great taste, but less filling. So it's just you're not gonna like have JL Audio page. It's gonna be Garmin.
So it's gonna be JL by Garmin, not audio anymore?
No, there's still JL Audio. It's still JL Audio, but it's a Garmin company.
No.
Just like if you look at Harman, Harman International, Samsung company. It's okay. I mean, it's just what happens, right? Are you still
when you got more
money?
Yeah.
Go. Yeah, hit it.
There you go, man.
Good evening. Serious question. Just bought a Sony 8100 and an Access steering wheel module. I've never done steering wheel controls, and I'm a little nervous. Please tell me it's not that bad. Going in a 2014 Mazda 5. All right, so the easiest thing to do on this is, like you, steering wheel controls always make people nervous. That's how Fernando got his job, to be honest with you. So he hated steering wheel control interfaces.
I know everything.
Access is one of those weird ones that it's like, you really don't have to do anything other than follow the instructions. Now, if you go to accessonline.com, which is the actual page for Access, it's not metroonline.com, you can download the whole sheet, like everything you need to know from start to finish about putting this in your car. I do it all the time when we have to use one of these because what's going to happen is it's either going to auto detect, meaning as soon as you plug it in the way they tell you to, that's important, then it'll just work. And the little lights will flash and it'll do everything you need. Or they're going to tell you to press, what is it, volume up? Press volume
Volume
up.
up. Just sometimes you just press and hold.
Sometimes you press and hold. Sometimes you
everything.
Frogger the thing.
Now the good thing is now the instructions on Axis they're
fantastic.
They redo the whole thing and they look so nice.
Yes, very easy.
Yes, very easy to understand.
And the nice thing is it has a reset button on it that you just hit with a toothpick and you start over.
I still have problems with steering wheel controls.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing. It's super super simple.
Yeah. So,
thank you for answering. The main reason changing the factory Bose door speakers have been changed and sounds very bad. It does. Oh. It does, Dave. It's because you've taken away that Bose EQ. Now, the other thing, too, is they do make a dash kit for your car. You might want to think about changing the radio. I'm just saying. I know it's got an 8-inch screen in it. Who's coming out with an 8-inch screen replacement for that car? Must be idea. JVC or Kenwood.
Really?
Yeah.
When?
In a month. Put a brand new 8-inch screen in there. Keep everything.
For sure.
But at both Metro and PAC, I think. Metro makes a dash kit for it, though. Yeah. Anyways, can you review the new AP4 GM71 and do an install video as soon as you get the opportunity? It's on our list of things to do, 100%. We haven't had one come through yet. We've actually tested it in a vehicle to make sure it does everything it's supposed to do. But we haven't actually had one to do installation on yet. So that's coming for sure. Go ahead and queue up the next question, but do not put it on because I'm going to change the sponsor. Hey, speaking of all this coolness, welcome to 12 volt. Some of you guys like to keep your factory radios. It's totally understandable. Audio control makes amplifiers that are easily integrated into the factory radio. One set amplifier for subwoofer, which seems to be the most popular, is the new Altitude Series amplifier, and they just so happen to have the 800.1. Now, a couple cool things about the 800.1 is, for one, it's about 925 watts is what we've dynoed live here on the show, so we know it has plenty of power. It also has high-level input, so it makes it super easy to add to your factory radio without needing an external high-level to low-level adapter. Comes with a subwoofer level control. It has one cool feature, which is Valet. Valet gives you the ability to hook up a switch so that when you take the car somewhere, or one of the kiddios are driving it, or whatever happens, you flick the switch and it'll cut the amount of output the amplifier is capable of delivering to the subwoofer, so you don't have to worry about that punk person, causing any damage to it. Now, one of the things that makes this fantastic is that it has a bunch of new boxes that you can team up with. We'll head over here to the website. And here you go. So you have the Gladiator, you have F-150, Chevy, and of course the new Ram Camelback box that'll easily integrate with these and make your installation sound fantastic. So basically head over to audiocontrol.com and see what products they have for you.
And your loved ones.
Yeah, and your loved ones.
Yeah, just buy to everyone.
Well, the thing is like you have the Epic Series amplifiers, great value, but you still got to buy an external high level to low level adapter.
I would pick this one.
I would pick this one
because it's I don't have to buy anything else.
It's just it's sexy.
Power wire done.
Yeah. So anyway,
easy.
I've been wondering from watching your videos, how much do you charge for your 911 saver projects? So
dude. When you make a call to actually 911 and if the ambulance, just appears, how much it is?
So I will tell you that I don't know the exact price on any of them. That's not my job in all of this. But I will tell you that there's a charge. So there's an hourly charge to take everything out and put the car back to factory. So that's the first charge that appears, is that we are going to charge you for, more than likely these things take about a half a day to get anywhere between a half day to a whole day. We've had some that have been pretty bad. To put everything back, plus we have to solder. Sometimes we have to get connectors and whatnot. So there's that charge. And then once we've done that, we just treat it like a normal vehicle, and we start from whatever that would be as a normal vehicle. Because, yeah. So really, the only extra charge is setting the car back to factory. So
Fixing
I don't
whatever
know
it
what that
is.
adds.
Yeah, no, I mean
But
every car is different.
yeah, but
So
that's really what that's the extra charge, so to speak. So
you guys charge so much.
it is. It is. Thank you, Mary Lou. Fang, you're falling asleep. Wow, she's calling out Fang, bro.
Wow.
Nope, center and minor the same time Dean was changing it. It's up. I'm doing my best, guys. You guys, thanks for fighting it out. By the way, Mary Lou, what are you doing Saturday? Good evening, DNF. Serious question. We already answered this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
We
sorry.
literally just yeah.
I'm the one sleeping. See?
Nothing for iOS Bose system, only non-amplified. Dave, real quick. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason why there's nothing listed for iOS Bose is because you're asking the whole question, which is I want to replace the radio and keep the Bose amplifier. You're not doing that. So treat it as a non-Bose. That's why you're not finding information. You're going to be putting in all aftermarket amplifiers. So that's why you're not finding a solution for it, because there's no solution to retain the factory amplifier. There's only a solution to put the radio in the dash, which is all you need to do. So you need backup camera, steering controls, and stuff like that to work, nothing else, because you're putting new power in it, so you don't need the amplifier, right? Crazy. So one of the things is like when the new iData / JVC Kenwood products come out, the direct replacements, that was neat. They're not going to,
open.
yeah, that was heaven. They're not going to support Bose systems yet as a full replacement, because the iData adapter won't be out when they launch. However, you could still install it. You just got to bypass the Bose amplifier. So that's why you're not seeing parts. So if you see parts for everything but Bose, you're golden, because you're putting new stuff in. Okay. Pray once, cry once.
Wow, that is pretty good.
I mean,
That's pretty good. Actually.
I mean, hey, it's words to live by, right? I just got through installing an Alpine ILX F509 along with the Optum 6 processor in my 2022 GMC Canyon. My first DSP setup, excluding the kicker key. Pretty stoked. Before you start, make sure you do all the updates to the ILX 509. So you can go online and you can update it up to 5.0. From 5.0 to 6.0, you have to do it over the air. But make sure it's on 6.0 whatever, before you start playing with the Optum 6, because it's going to do a full reset on the Alpine twice. And it does change the way it sounds. So if you just hurry to get to the Optum, and then also make sure that you update your Optum 6, because there has been an update for that too. So you want to make sure that you have both the most current softwares for both pieces. Otherwise, you may be disappointed. Maybe. So moving on. Hi, I have a 200.4 and a 501. Do these get hot? I'm having trouble finding a home in my car for them, but I have a cubby underneath the back seat. Would it hurt these amps to mount them there with no air movement? So it's funny you should say that. One of the things John Myers said last night from Kenwood Trainer was
From Kicker.
What did I say? Kenwood? Yeah. Of course I say Kenwood, because it starts with a K, and that's just how my brain works. Anyways, John Myers from Kicker was talking about how you can stuff the 200.4 anywhere, because it really doesn't get all that hot. Now the 500.1, it's a sub amp, depending on how hard you hit it, there's going to be some heat associated with it. I would say, is there any way to vent the cubby? Is there any way to cut some holes in it so maybe you could get some air to it? They don't need a ton of airspace. Like, we've put them behind seats, under seats, in dashes. So, I mean, it's not like, I know the 200.4, we've hid that thing almost everywhere, like literally in between an air box and a body control module. The 500.1 is really the one that obviously you'd want to be concerned with. Neither one of them are like, hey, we're going to just suck all the life out of the room. But, it happens. All right, well, just curious, Mary Lou. Thank you. How do you feel about dash EQs? I haven't seen one in years. Who wants to use one? I mean, okay, listen, I feel with the modern DSP and what it is, I think obviously that's probably the way to go. However, if you're one of those people that just needs to touch things, which there are, then yeah, go for it. I mean, it's a toy. It's all it is. It's a toy. So, it happens. Hello, guys. Sun love the sub. Fantastic. Thank you, Dean, for the talk. Appreciate you guys. Totally talked them off the ledge. It's what I'm here for. If I wasn't going to be car steerer, I probably would have gone into the church business.
Church business?
Yeah, I'm not saying I would have been married and had kids and all that stuff, but, maybe a shrink.
Yeah,
psychologist, yeah. I feel like I'm the 12-volt psychologist anyways. I mean,
okay.
A lot of these guys just come and cry on my shoulder. It's
Wow.
okay. No, hey, I'm there for them. I mean, it's perfectly okay. I would much rather that be the case, for sure. Okay, I want to answer this. Yeah. I'm excited to do that. Yeah. Thank you, Brad. $10. No, it's okay. God bless you. Go with God.
All the time.
Up, down, left, right. This is a custom install question, I suppose. Just for the heck of it, if doing an install with 410s subs, would you need 4 mids for each door to make it sound good? Thoughts? So immediately the answer would be no. Whether you do 410s, 310s, 610s, 1210s, 110s, the reality is this. If you're trying to have a balanced system, then you need to make sure that everything is balanced. So if you, depending on what those 410s are doing, so for example, like if you're putting 410s in a wedge behind the back seat of a pickup truck, more than likely you're just going to get enough bass and you're going to be like, oh, thank God it makes bass. So normal mids and highs would probably be fantastic. It just depends what you're going for, okay? It depends what those 410s are doing. So, for example, like when we
what type of tens do you talking about?
So, I mean, are we talking
Bobby Gailey's?
Yeah, super 10s where we're jacking the seat up, in which case, so there again, you have a certain amount of volume that those 410s are going to put out. If you're trying to balance the system, then you have to put corresponding mid-bass tweeters to complement them so that you can have a level system. So everything has to be according to scale. So to answer the question, it's like I just can't say yes, or I can't just say no. You have to scale the system up accordingly. So, and that can be done many ways. So, for example, if you have 410s and you went with a higher end mid bass that can handle more power and went with a 3-way system as opposed to a 2-way system, like you might get the volume you're looking for to compete or blend in with the 410s. Plus, it just depends what you want the 410s to do. Like I was going to say, when we go to these sound offs or these sound competitions, these guys have a 22, a 15, an 18 in the back of their cars.
2 15s.
That literally don't do anything. There's a 10 in the kick panel, and that thing's hammering away. And all that thing does is play like 20 hertz, 25 hertz.
15.
And it's just back there going, and you'd think, oh my God, look at that big ass, and it's doing nothing. So it just depends what you're trying to get it to do. You may have 410s because you want those 410s to acoustically sound good and fill in a gap that you're missing in the stereo. Doesn't necessarily mean you want it to knock the back of your head off. I will tell you from my experience, years ago I had a Dodge Ram and I put 410s with 2 big mono blocks that Kenwood made. And the only other speakers I had in it was Kenwood at the time made a 7x10, which I had in the front doors of my Dodge Ram, and I had a 4-inch in the dash. That was, it was a lot of fun to get in there. And so that was the system, and it worked. It sounded fantastic. The kicker truck that we took, the kicker truck, it was 615s. It had 615s and 2 6.5s.
I can only see 4 because I'm short. So yeah.
Anyways, so it just depends what you're trying to do.
For sure.
Anyways,
but thank you for the 10, man.
There you go. Kicker speakers are good for my Jeep Grand Cherokee. Yes. Yes, they are. Yeah. Kicker makes, so it's a Jeep Grand Cherokee. So they make depending on your Grand Cherokee, it's going to be a 3.5 or a 2.5 in the dash. They make both of those. It's either going to be a 6.5 or a 6x9 in the door. There again, they have combinations of both of those. They go in nice and easy, and they sound fantastic. They have CS and they have KS. So just pick your poison. All right, where's another one at?
Are you looking for any specific?
I was looking for this one.
Okay.
Is Rockford/iData done with the DSR1 updates? So that's an interesting question because technically the answer would be no, because Rockford is using that with all their new Jeep kits, and it's one of the future platforms that they're going to be working with to develop other things as of right now. However, we also know that they're going to be introducing the new Punchline that is going to be released, debut later this year. Can't get into those details, but we have talked about it in the past. Like we just went out there, we listened to the new speakers. There's new amplifiers coming out. We've talked about the DSPs that are going to be in the amplifiers. So as far as are they going to keep developing it? Right now, there's no problems with it, meaning it works. It's functional. It does everything you need it to do. Outside of that, if you're looking for something that is iData and is more, let's say, put some brain power behind it and they're actively working on it, then what you want to do is switch over to our good friends at Arc Audio, because Arc Audio has the PSM Pro line, which is their little tiny DSP, which is like, oh, that was sweet. You missed it. Did you see the hearts? That
What
was
hearts?
the one, dude. You're literally staring at the screen. It's so
I'm
sad. I went
looking.
like this, and it did hearts. See, look, see, there it goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Do it again. One more. Come on. Oh, dude, that's fantastic.
Yay. Anyways, so the PSM Pro is a little tiny DSP that is very similar to a DSR1. So much so that you can actually unplug a DSR1 and plug the PSM Pro in. The only thing you need is the AR, because the AR is not built into it. It's built into the DSR1. So they decided not to put it in because they were going for size. As well as every Arc Audio DSP is iData compatible. So it opens the whole gamut of what do you want to do. So the new 6 to 8 is iData compatible, the PSM Pro, the 8 to 8, the Blackbird is iData compatible. All future DSPs are iData compatible. So you have a whole slew of what do you want to do. So if the DSR1, you're going, I wish there was, there you go. Head over to Arc Audio, arcaudio.com. And speaking of Arc Audio, go ahead and dump that.
Okay.
Just click it. Just click it off.
I'm trying.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, that was tough. Anyways, Arc Audio Moto line. It's summer, or at least it's summer here. It's that time. I guess this would be spring. Spring is here. The weather is getting so much nicer. Although 2 weeks ago I was in snow, that was very strange. For us, it's beautiful. So we'll go with that. If you were thinking about updating your motorsports, whether it be motorcycle, side by side, whatever. The new Moto line of amplifiers have just been released. We have the Moto 800, same form factor, same size as the previous 7. However, more powerful, and yes, more powerful. So definitely, if you're looking to get yourself all set and ready to go for this summer, arcaudio.com, check out the Moto line of fun and excitement speakers is what I like to call them, speakers and amplifiers, because that's where they go. Hi, should I change my 4-channel Hertz milling amp for a Kicker 500.4 LX? Why? I guess why would be the question, because, okay, so there's a couple reasons why you change out a product, right? One is that there's a problem, right? The current product is failing for some reason, and you're like, I just need to replace it because it's failing. 2, you go, I'm missing something, and this other product that I could buy will fill in the void of something that is missing. Like it'll give me something that I currently don't have in this product. 3 is you just do it because you want to do it. Meaning you're like, I've had this for a while. It's cool. It works. I'm going to sell it because I want, I don't want old and busted. I want the new hotness, right? So you're going to have to decide which one of those you fall into, because if you're looking at, like, let's say one amp is 75 to 85 watts and the other one's, let's say 100, 110 watts, you're probably not going to notice a huge difference in, like, oh, that's amazing how much better it sounds or how much louder it is, because it's really not. It's not that much of a difference. So you got to figure out, where do you fall into this, and what do you want to do? I mean, it's pretty cool. But why not just go bigger? Why not go with the, instead of go 4-channel, just go with the 7-channel? I mean, go all the way. Get more channels. More channels are better. Okay. Can you explain the difference of installing in a 2011 Chrysler 300 using a Kenwood direct replacement gear? Do the new gear have a 10-inch float screen? So the new gear, the new radio, will be a 10-inch float for the Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep products that have the 8.5-inch screen in the dash. The reason why is because they're not wanting to do a smaller screen. So even though the 8 would probably fit, it's the whole goal is to not go down any size, is to go either the same or bigger. So Chrysler's all going to be float. The advantage of going with the new product as opposed to anything else is that, so the float screen is a 2-piece screen. So even on, like, the new 1058, I think, which is replacing the 1057, the 1057, 1058, they all need to attach to the chassis, meaning that's what holds the screen in place. The new float screen, when iData is giving you a bracket that is designed to, you pull the factory screen out, this bracket is going to go in place of the factory screen. They worked with Kenwood to come out with a mounting system that's going to mount the whole thing right into place, and so that you don't have to replace any plastics. It's just you buy the kit and everything is in there, with the exception of whether you need an RR or R2, and obviously the JVC or the Kenwood float screen. But it's really straightforward in that everything just kind of, like, you take the factory screen out, you take the factory brain out, you plug in the new stuff, you flash the module, and then you just build this piece using some of your factory pieces as well as all the pieces they're giving you, and then the screen just attaches. So they've tried to make it as simple as possible. Like, there's going to be these 2 clips that stick out, and the screen, once you get the whole dash back on, the screen's going to go into place. It's going to be 2 screws that go in from either side, and you're done. So it's pretty straightforward. Sounds amazing. I just want more output and clarity. Oh well, there you go. I mean, do you have a DSP? So I mean, there's always that. I mean, clarity is usually described as bright or something. Output would be power. Clarity would be tonality. You're not really getting any tuning in that particular amplifier. I mean, it doesn't have an EQ. It doesn't make anything sound better. So it just may have a little bit more power. So to me, you may want to think about going with something that has a DSP built into it, or adding a DSP to your existing system, so that you can then EQ it and possibly solve both problems. Sometimes power is there. You just don't notice it because other things are affecting it. So, for example, if you go, hey man, I have this system and my tweeters aren't loud enough. Okay, that means something else is louder than your tweeters. There's 2 ways to fix it: put more tweeters in the car, or find what is causing the tweeters to not sound loud and turn that down. So you can make your tweeters louder by just removing some of the mid-range or mid-bass. It's still going to be there. It's just, and then it's like, oh crap, and all of a sudden it sounds better, and you're like, what the hell did I do? And like, yeah, I mean, that's what it does. So maybe DSP. Maybe DSP. Right? Could be. You guys okay if I make my own 5-star t-shirt for me, myself, and I? Yeah, go for it. Knock yourself out. Why not? Yeah. I mean, it's easy enough to do. I mean, I'm not going to lose any sleep. On a data site, it shows the 9500 ES doesn't support turning back lines. I believe you're calling them dynamic lines.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seen videos where people install different cars and that it's supported. Is that a Sony or an iData issue? So iData can see dynamic lines and create dynamic lines even if they're not there. So for example, this Toyota, it has dynamic lines now. Okay, so it didn't before, it does now. So the factory will turn. Now, this is a Kenwood radio, which gives you the option to do that, meaning they have the information pack that iData provides. It says, hey, we can take your onboard backup lines and make them dynamic. Okay. Sony may not have that. I mean, they might not support that capability. The factory lines are there and they don't move. So what we have to do in order to get the dynamic lines is we have to adjust our lines so that they sit on top of the factory ugly lines, and then you can have the dynamic happening because the Kenwood supports that. So what I would check is put a different radio manufacturer in there. Probably try like a Kenwood DMX 1057 and see if that supports those. If that's something you absolutely have to have, more so than the radio, then you have to find a radio that does it. Um, I don't really think it should be, but to each his own. They're having fun over there. They're just going crazy next
Cool.
door. The barbers, they're just going crazy. Dean, can you do a more in depth on time alignment with speaker pop? Speaker pop left to center, so do you do the same thing for the right side? Um, we've done quite a few videos on it, Bobby. It really just depends. Are you using a radio or a DSP? So that's where the fun comes in. So, for example, if you're using polarity pops with the aftermarket radio, like the Kenwood, for example, you don't adjust the driver's side, you adjust the passenger side. So you add distance to the passenger side, which is then, because it's the way their math works, it's actually adding distance to the driver's side. So I sit there and I tap that one, and you'll hear it move over. Um, if you're trying to figure out, a different way, or if you want to get a little closer, you can start by doing the tape measure, measure where everything needs to be, and then subtracting the zero, meaning find like the passenger driver's mid base is usually the 0 point, and everything else is adding to it. So if this is basic math, if this is 48 and this is 36, meaning the driver's 36, this is 48, yay, that's 12. So in the radio, you're going to put 0 and 12, which would be 1 foot, right? Because that's ridiculous. And that would get you closer, and then you can start playing with the polarity pops from that point. But more than likely, you're going to play with that. Now, if it's a Kenwood, you have level control also. So if you're like, I'm at 15 inches and it's not working, bring it back to 12, 12 and a half, then go to the level control and start turning the level down on the driver's side. And that will do the same thing, because, yeah, fun. Hi, guys. Would you happen to know if iData will ever make the Maestro compatible with GM Bose systems? Yes, they will. They're working on that quite diligently right now.
Sorry.
You're having a tough time, man. Do you need a Zyrtec or something? You need to go blow your nose? I mean,
Why?
I don't know. Because maybe there's
sick.
something in there that needs to come out. Yes, the GM Bose system is priority one right now for them, along with 10 other things. But yes, they're telling us hopefully by the end of the year, which probably means sometime middle of next year. But yeah, it's on their list of very much. Zyrtec works, man.
No, just getting sick.
Yeah?
Okay.
Has anyone come out with a way to integrate into a 2023 Blazer with base radio? I'm running a T harness, but the factory signal is horrible. so it doesn't sound great. Right now, no, not yet. It's yeah. I think what you'll probably see is maybe the iData and the Kenwood solution might be offered at some point. But right now, yeah, it sucks. Sorry, I got nothing. Thank you for the $5. So it's a tuning an LC2i and a Hertz HCPT amplifier on a third gen Tacoma. Do I need to unplug all my upgraded speakers when configuring clipping points at 40 hertz 0 dB? Well, why would you like no one does 0 dB?
Thank you, Jeff.
Um so the reality is you should have a crossover in there somewhere, right? Like there should be a crossover on your upgraded speakers. Meaning there should be some form of a high pass, 80 hertz, somewhere around in there. That should be protecting them. Um, really, the only time you don't ever want. I mean, you can if you like. Okay, it makes total sense, but no, because you can't most of the time. So really, the one that you don't want to have any speakers hooked up to is if you're trying to do 1,000 hertz. That's why when you look at like a key lock, which is what I would have, because it's an actual like legit high level to low level de-equalization, and will do something. It does a sweep. So when you play a static tone that is just, it's going to cause a lot of heat. A sweep from low to high is how you keep from blowing your speakers. So the LC2i, I mean, you can also just play dynamic music, like something that you're normally going to play, and the peak light will come on, and you can turn it off and turn it down until the peak light goes away. You could use a sweep also, because it'll sit there and it'll go, and you could just make sure it's not on. But 40 hertz 0 dB is probably not what you want to play at, especially if you're trying to set up like a sub. I would use like -5, -10, so that you can actually get some room in there for crappy bass or songs that have crappy bass. All right, what do we got here? Okay. This next segment is brought to you by the fine folks at Moscone-America.com. If you're looking for an amplifier, if you're looking for speakers, Gladen. Ooh, tons of new Gladen speakers have just dropped. They have one called the Generic. Now, this is a funny one because people are like, generic, what? But generic just means universal. They just didn't find a good way to, they used poor Google Translate, I guess. But the universal sizes allow you to make your own brackets in order to fit these speakers in some very unique locations. They have a 2-inch, they have like a 2 3/4. There's a 6, there's a tweeter. Anyways, they sell, believe it or not, a ton of different sizes with a ton of different applications at various price points. But if you head over to Moscone-America.com, you can find the current lineup of all the new Gladen speakers. So go ahead and do that right now. Just do it. Remember hearing you say there is a certain frequency you hate and always turn down on EQ. What was the frequency? 500 hertz. Not a fan. That's also the frequency that if you're like gonna be like buy closed back, open back, horns, big mids, stuff like that, that's the frequency you want to turn up because that'll make it obnoxiously loud, and that gives you that like crazy mid-range sound that you're like, holy Jesus, this is like wow. So it's probably why I don't like it. Most people don't like it either. So moving on. For my modest 2016 Chevy Cruze, if you had to choose one thing to upgrade to get the most bang for the buck, what would it be? Thanks, guys. I mean, believe it or not, I feel like the most popular thing is still a subwoofer because cars just lack impact. Rockford makes the P300 series amplified subwoofers, so they have 210s, 312s, and an 8, various sizes. And it's our number one upgrade that we do because the factory bass just sucks. It's got a great value. It's easy to install, sort of, kind of, depends on the car. Has high level in, has auto sense, DC offset. So as far as that goes, it's not like overly complicated, but it sounds fantastic, and it will add something to the vehicle that you currently don't have. So that would probably be my suggestion still. Thank you for the $2. Thank you for the $5.
Thank you, man.
2015 CT200H with nav, so can't use Amp Pro, right? I got an LC7i, but I'm not sure where to hook it up to for a 4-channel with the 5-channel front, mid, sub, front. Okay, rear having full range. Is there a better way? Also, what should I sum? You shouldn't sum anything. This is one of those situations where it's like, oh, what did you get? Probably not the best move. When integrating into a vehicle, especially something like this, which I'm guessing has an outboard amplifier in it, because they always do, we have to know what is coming from the amplifier. Meaning, we have to know what is going on. Okay, so if the factory amplifier is just a base model amplifier and all it has is 2 channels for front, 2 channels for rear, and a sub, an LC7i is fantastic. However, if it has 2 channels for front mid tweet, 2 channels for front mid bass, channels for rear, and a channel for sub, and a center channel, an LC7i ain't going to work. It's not going to do the job. If it has a center channel and it's a true center channel, LC7i, not the piece for you, because that also has to be included in the installation, because there's data, that's music, that is coming through that needs to be mixed back into the system. Could also be upmixed, meaning there is no mixing it back into the system. There's just leave it alone and amplify it. An LC7i is a high-level to low-level adapter. So if that's all you're looking for, fantastic. But summing channels together, well, especially in something built on a Toyota chassis, probably not the best thing to do. Factory amp has front, mid, sub, rear, center, out. So you need channels for all of those, as well as something to attach to. An LC7i is okay, but you may also, like, depending on the amplifier you have, it may also have high level input already, and you don't need an LC7i, So the best bet is, if it has a center, you need a channel for the center. Buy more channels. That's where it is. So you need, if it's got 8 channels, buy 8 channels of amplification. Make your life simple. Okay. Summing things together to fit into a 5-channel is the bad way of doing things. Buy another 4-channel amplifier to power the center and the rear. Okay. And just buy an amplifier that has high level input, like we talked about earlier with the Altitude series. Just hook it up, and you're good to go. Keep it simple. And you have to go after the amplifier. So, starting to learn to do installs the right way, how does one start out? It's a little past for me to start. 53 is a little old, I think, to do it for a living. I don't know. I get up every day and do it for a living, so I mean, it's what it is. I mean, I'm 52. Ugh. Why did we already change? Because we done with that question. Either way,
I mean, you can keep.
If you're looking to get some pointers on, I mean, there again, MECP is still a very hot button place to go to learn about installation. If you're just looking for clean, obviously the 12 Ohm Clean Wire Club is a great place to see examples of what clean wire might be that you're wanting to do. I don't. That's kind of the problem, is that there's not a lot of resources. That's why we do this out there for hey, there's no magazines anymore. There's no this, that, or the other. It's all just Instagram and turning the phone to guess what's going to look good. You're never too old to learn something, though. So, yeah, go ahead. All right, now you can change. Will I get better sound using 3.5-inch wideband on my dash with 2024 Grand Cherokee, or adding tweeter to the sail panel? If you can add a tweeter to the sail panel and do a 3.5 in the dash, it'd be fantastic. Or Or just go with a set of Kenwood C3s, which is their 3.5-inch coaxial, and call it a day. It's a solid move, and it's really simple, and it sounds fantastic. Really does. But yes, adding the tweeter. Uh, would you improve the sound in the 2024 GMC Cannon just by changing out the speakers? It doesn't have a Bose system and no amplifier. And that particular vehicle, you will notice a difference. Is it enough to where you're like, oh, that's so much better? Might not be. For something like that, we would do, which we've done, we would do like a Kicker key lock, the Kicker 200.4 on a set of new front speakers, so we can get a volume increase, some equalization, and whatnot. That would be a noticeable difference. Putting new rear speakers in is not going to help you. But 4 new front speakers, meaning the top of the dash, the doors, and then some power with a little bit of EQ, you'll notice a big difference. It will be it's like almost having a new car. So good question. Will you guys be attending K-Fest in Atlantic City this year? Unfortunately, Haley is graduating from college that weekend. And as a responsible parent that I am, if I was to go to Atlantic City instead of her graduation, she would probably kill me. Fair enough. We toyed with the idea of like going to graduation, hopping on a plane and flying over. Then I was like, it's a lot of money that I just don't want to spend. So no, right now there's no Atlantic City on the agenda. Maybe next year. Probably next year. But yeah. Happy birthday to my late mom. Anniversary of the Titanic. There you go.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy belated birthday. Hey guys, trying to decide between Focal and Morel for my 22 Mustang. Will the Morel Hybrid 62s fit in my car? No. No, the mid-range, the 3-way, is too big. No, that's
the hybrid 62s.
That's a Mustang. Yeah, but it's a Mustang. It has a 3-way set. You need the 63s. I mean, unless he just has the Mustang. I don't. Do they?
Maybe the Mustang is on.
I have never. Yeah, but a 22. I've never seen a 22 that doesn't have a 3-way set in it. I mean, they haven't. I mean, if you're just going to do the 62s, sure. Yeah, those will fit because it's just a tweeter and a mid bass. But I'm pretty sure it has a 3-way set in it, right? Yeah. Either way. Anyone looking to fill the void for the illusion I found is the audio dynamic. Oh, there you go. Very nice. There you go. Dean, question. Volvo V8 with Dyna Audio, not worth trying to find this. I know you've touched on the factory system expectation or no. I mean, we've toyed with that. Like that's the one Volvo, but I don't know. I don't remember if it was a 08. I thought it was older. I don't think I would like try to find that. I don't think that would make any sense. Yeah, I mean, most of those speakers are dry rotted by now, or at least having a bad day, because they beat the crap out of them. So, sorry, go ahead, do your thing. The key 200.4. Can I install under the trunk without any ventilation? I Jeep Grand Cherokee. Yeah, you should be fine. Like I said, we put those in some very unfriendly places with no issues. So yeah, you should be good to go with that for sure. No problem. You got a real quick one?
There you
go. I would do the Helix M6 to answer your question really fast. It's got more inputs and outputs and a Toslink input if you need it. If you don't need more outputs, then no. But yes. There again, if it's my first DSP, the Helix will be a little bit harder to use. Once you figure it out, you'll be fine. But the audio control is definitely easier DSP software. Has anyone came out with an integration? Oh, we've answered this.
No.
Yeah, we've already played that one.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. So yeah. There you go. I'll just pop it up. So there you go. There's where I answered. Um. Yep. Okay. Navigation. Navigator. I saw the Navigator. 2014 Navigator L running 4 DDs on it. What speakers recommend? Um. Something that's loud and efficient, for sure. There, we talked earlier in the show about trying to match up expectations of what is going to be happening. You have a ton of bass, you're going to need some efficient mids and highs. So depending on the sound you're going for, it's going to vary. So if you just want boom, maybe look at some loudspeakers out there. But if you want something that is crisp, if you're like, no, I'm going to be having wine glasses, I'm going to be making this thing ting, maybe look at some Focal. I mean, there again, just two sides of the spectrum. Depends on how loud you want to get. But regardless of that, thank you guys so much for tuning in on this Tuesday. Sorry about that. I'm going to blame Kicker. But no, we had a great time last night with John Myers and the crew. Learned some new stuff, which will be part of a video we're going to be doing here soon. So stay tuned for that. I'd like to thank the show sponsors, which is Arc Audio, Audio Control, Moscone, Gladen, and Focal. As well, of course, DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can find the IRTA2, the 2-channel electrical RTA. The one tool in your toolbox that will make your life easier. For anyone that has a Snap-on toolbox and doesn't have an IRTA2 and pretends like they know anything about car audio, you're tripping. Totally tripping, because there's a lot of things you can't do with a Snap-on toolbox you can do with an IRTA2. Anyways, thank you guys for asking fantastic questions tonight, because without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So thank you guys for showing up and taking some time out of your Tuesday. We know it's not your regular scheduled time, but you guys all came, so that was really nice. Fernando, we will see you back here. Jeez, you're going to be gone. We won't see
next
you
Monday.
Yeah, we won't see you. No, well, are you going to be? Oh yeah, you'll be back here Monday. Okay, cool. So we'll see you back here Monday.
Maybe depends
on
how I feel.
Whatever. I was gonna say you're scheduled to come back. You'll be back.
I know.
Otherwise, don't worry. Friday we'll have the news, as well as Saturday. I'll find a host. I'll find a co-host. Mary Lou's sick.
I think if you call Jeff, maybe he has like an hour.
I might give Jeff a call.
Yeah.
But the thing is I really want him to talk about the new Helix stuff, and we're just not there yet. So.
But it's more equipment that they just released and all that stuff. So
I don't know. Oh, I could get Brinkley. I wonder if Brinkley's doing anything.
Just sprinkling some car audio.
Brinkley would be fun. Get Brinkley on. Yeah. He texted me the other night. He's like, I want to do more social stuff, and I was like, maybe get Brinkley on. That'd be fun.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'll find somebody to fill in for. I mean, it's big shoes to fill, but we'll have somebody. There again. Vera's a real easy one, and I just want to try to get somebody new. I'm gonna try to get somebody new for you guys to look at. So Jeff is great. Vera's cool. Jeff is always fun.
Yep.
Brian, I know would do it in a heartbeat. I know these guys will do it, but I want to try to spice it up a little bit and find some new co-hosts. Expand the crowd. Get some new people in here. That might be fun. And again, they might suck. Either way, we got to find out, right? So, and it's always nice to have a different perspective.
For sure.
So, plus, yeah. All right. That's it. That's all we got. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful weekend. Wonderful week. Yeah. Wonderful week. Bye.